Okay, let's get started with the first question. Are there any things that most people like, but you don't? So there's one really big one, and that is Hi friends, welcome to English Between with Teacher Amy. I'm Teacher Amy, and it has been a whole month since I posted a video on YouTube. In January, I did my 28-day grammar challenge, which you can still find in the playlist 28-day grammar challenge here on YouTube. I took a month off and now I'm ready to get started to be posting regularly. From now on, you can find my videos every Wednesday here on YouTube. I have a big following on TikTok and Instagram, and I am just now getting started on YouTube. I'm so excited and a little bit nervous to start long form videos on YouTube because it's so much different than what I'm used to. But today I'm going to take advantage of the long form format of YouTube videos, and I'm going to answer some ridiculous get to know you questions about me. So one thing that I think is missing on TikTok and Instagram and in my other social media is that you don't really get to know me very well. So today I'm going to answer some kind of silly questions about me, and at the end you will find some comprehension questions that you can answer to see how well you understood my English. I would also really love to know your answers, so if there are a couple questions you would like to answer, you can post them in the comments below, or you can post them in my private Telegram group if you're there. If you're not, you can find my Telegram group at English Between the Lines. Okay, let's get started with the first question. The first question is, do you have any weird superstitions? Okay, do I have any weird superstitions? Okay, I do have one. So I don't know if it's weird, but I have a superstition that if I say that I will never do something, that I definitely will, because I feel like every time I say, oh, I could never do that, or I'll never have that job, I always get that job. So for example, when I was growing up, I was so shy, super shy. But I loved languages, and I loved English and literature. And so people always asked me, oh, so you're studying languages and literature, so are you going to be a teacher? And I said, no way. No way. I'm not going to be a teacher. And sure enough, I became a teacher, and it's just what I do. There are also other times that this has happened in my life. I've said things like, I'm never going to be a waitress. And then I'm a waitress. There's another one. Oh yeah, obviously, I'm never going to be good on camera. I'll never be comfortable on camera. And here I am on camera, and I have a huge following. That's crazy. So from now on, I have just learned, stop, don't say I'll never do something. Okay, question number 2. Are there any things that most people like, but you don't? So there's one really big one, and that is sports. I don't understand sports. Here in the US, American football is super popular, but I just don't like it. I don't like watching people play sports. I don't like watching football. I don't like watching basketball. I don't like watching any sports. And what's weird about that is that my entire family is a sports family. My parents both studied physical education, so PE. They were PE teachers, and They're very athletic. Everyone in my family is very athletic. Sports was always a part of my family, but for some reason I just don't like it. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. What's your weirdest roommate or housemate story? Okay, so this makes me nervous because what if that person is watching? I don't think so, but I had one roommate when I was in college for just a little while, and this roommate did not like doing the dishes. I mean, I don't like doing the dishes either, but she never, ever, ever did the dishes. And so I said, I'm not gonna do it, I didn't do it. So they stayed in the sink for weeks. We had dishes in our sink forever. And then finally one day I walked in and her boyfriend was in there doing the dishes for her. So I just remember that so clearly, thinking like she hates the dishes so much that she got her boyfriend, and they hadn't been in a relationship for very long. She got her boyfriend to come in and do the dishes, those horrible dishes for her. Okay, what is something that you've never been able to do well? Count. Count. Actually, the other day, just a couple days ago, one of my students, I teach in person during the day. I teach ESL, English as a Second Language, in a college classroom. So the other day, one of my students came to me and said, just so you know, you never give me, not never, but you often do not give me the paper. You just don't, give me the handouts. And I'm thinking, oh no, it's again, just, I cannot, just with paper, I can't just hand paper to people. I never count right. I'm at the copier making more copies. And yeah, when I taught high school years and years ago, still there were always extra copies or not enough copies. If I have to add something or count anything, yeah, forget it. It's wrong. It's definitely wrong. If you could sit next to anyone on a plane, who would it be? Okay, for me, it would probably be Brené Brown. So if you do not know Brené Brown, she is a psychologist who has written a lot of books about psychology, and especially about vulnerability. So vulnerability is like the feeling of being exposed or open to other people. And I really respect her as a person, and those ideas of vulnerability have really influenced the way that I view languages, because I think that learning languages is an act of vulnerability. It makes us feel vulnerable, and I think that for a lot of people, understanding that's why they're so nervous when they try to speak, or just understanding why they might be struggling because of that, I think it's really important. And for me, it was very important as I was learning Spanish. So yeah, that's who I would like to sit next to. I would love to sit next to Brené Brown on a plane. What's your favorite TV show? So my favorite TV show has always been Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I love that show. And yeah, I have watched that show so many times. And I mean, I think it's been like 7 times. I just really like that, badass chick who can keep herself and beat up all the bad guys. And I really love the relationships and the way they talk to each other in that show. Maybe you don't know what I'm talking about, but yeah, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I can watch that show forever. It's by a guy named Joss Whedon, and he has been in a lot of trouble lately for his treatment of women on his shows when he's working with them on television shows, and including Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So when I heard that news, I was really upset. I mean, maybe not really upset, but it really bothered me. So I don't know if I can say that Buffy the Vampire Slayer is still my favorite show, but it has definitely always been my favorite. If you could eat only one food for the rest of your life, what would it be? I would probably choose beans and rice because it's always good. I think beans and rice is always good. The other one I was thinking about is sushi. I love sushi. But I don't know if I would want to eat it every day. So, beans and rice. Okay, the questions are getting a little bit more serious now. What were you like in high school? What was I like in high school? I was really quiet in high school. I didn't talk very much in class. I didn't have very many friends. I had a couple really good friends that were very important to me. I did everything with the same friends. I was also a little bit weird. I was weird because I was very dreamy. I still am, but dreamy is like I was always in my head and in my imagination. I wrote a lot of books. I love to write. And so in my spare time, I would write these long pages and pages of books and stories. And I spent just as much time reading stories. So I was always in my head thinking about stories, living in stories. Stories were just my life. So yeah, and I don't know, I wasn't that popular, but I went to a really small school. So yeah, I'm going to stick with weird. I was kind of weird in high school. If you could have any job, what would it be? What would I do? So I think my answer is that if I could have any job, so I really love what I do. I love teaching English. I love spending so much time with people from all over the world, but I think that my ideal job would be something where I could do some traveling. I would really love to travel the world and learn a lot of languages. So I don't know, maybe YouTube superstar? No, I don't want to be a superstar. But yeah, so I don't know, maybe some sort of a travel person. Thank you so much for being here. Stick around. I'm going to list a bunch of comprehension questions that you can answer in the comments or in my private Telegram group. You can find me at English Between on Telegram. You can also find me on TikTok and Instagram. So, yeah, see you next time.